Originally, I was going to start this video as a Time Thief deck profile, but after looking at my cards and doing my research on what you creative duelists out there have been doing with the archetype, I realized they have a freaking one card combo that's amazing with Orcus. I'll probably have a picture of the combo either before or after, somewhere during this video. And I figured at that point, unless I'm making Time Thief Orcus, there's really no point of making a Time Thief profile, simply due to the fact that it's not going to be relevant until probably after Nationals, and more than likely some of that Orcus shenanigans may or may not get hit. I mean, I can see it getting hit, but that's a whole another topic for another video. In today's video, instead, I'm going to talk about the potential the Time Thief archetype has, because let's face the fact, Konami dick teased us with this archetype, and there's a lot of things they can do. So with all that being said, let's get into it. Without further ado, let's begin.
Ice on my wrist, looking kinda cool. Bad bitch with me, she ain't tryna move. Niggas staring at me, what you tryna do? Got me looking at my watch, and it's time to do.
Starting off by saying, for you guys that are new to the archetype, what are Time Thieves? Time Thieves are essentially these 6 cards you guys have right here. These 6 cards make up the archetype in a sense. The whole goal of the deck right now as it stands is to dwindle your opponent's resources and control on the board with the card right here, Time Thief Redoer. For you guys that do not know, Time Thief Redoer has 3 effects. Well, actually technically 4 effects. When you bring them out during the standby phase, you can attach the top card of your opponent's deck to him as material. That's a quick effect. So pretty much every standby phase, your turn and your opponent's turn. Then you can detach up to 3 different types of materials from this card, then apply the following effects. Detach a monster, you can banish them to the end phase. If you detach a spell, you can draw a card. If you detach a trap, you can target one face-up card your opponent controls and place it on top of the deck. That last effect does not target, which is huge for cards that says cannot be targeted by opponent's card effects. Huge, trust me. I won a lot of games when I went to the YCS playing this deck because of that effect. So you pretty much control the board with him, annoy the hell out of the opponent, and attack for game. How do you make him, you guys may ask? You make him with Time Thief Regulator, who's pretty much the rescue rabbit of the deck. If you control no monsters, you contribute this card, special summon 2 Time Thief monsters with different names from your deck in defensive position, except Time Thief Regulator. When an XYZ monster you control is destroyed by battle, while it's in your graveyard, you can special summon this card, but destroy it when it leaves the field. But banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use effective Regulator once per turn. And Regulator, since you got to bring out 2 different ones, it's going to bring out Bezel Ship. Bezel Ship, pretty much, use a quick effect, contribute him, target 1 Time Thief XYZ monster you control, attach 1 card from front of the graveyard to him. And if he's in the graveyard, you're gonna attach a material from an XYZ monster of yours and special summon him, and then Redoer is just bonkers. When he's normal summon, you can add a Time Thief card. Add a Time Thief card from your deck to your hand. Then you can detach a material to special summon him. So pretty much you bring him out with Regulator, make a Redoer, and usually you're in a good position. I mean, ultimately you have to draw your Regulator, but that's pretty much what you have to do. Only downside is Bezel Ship's kind of slow. He's arguably one of the worst cards in the deck. Winder is one of the best cards in the deck. He's a Stratos, and Redoer, the deck only having 1 XYZ kind of hurts it in a sense. We were all hoping every Time Thief duelist, everybody who plays this deck and loves this deck and rejoices this deck, was hoping Konami would have gave us some support in the following set, which got replaced with Valkyries. And we were all upset. But that's neither here nor there. I think this deck has a lot of potential once they get at least 1 or 2 more solid XYZs. Or Xyzs, however you want to call it. An idea of what they might do based on Redoer, more than likely, all of them probably are going to have that banish effect to come back to the field. That'll be pretty much like making it the only XYZ deck that's not restricted to the Link Summon mechanic. However, the thing that sucks about that is you can easily get OTK and or FTK in this format against decks like Thunder Dragons, Dangers, and etc. And of course, what's the discussion video about Time Thief? But I'm talking about the other cards in the deck, Flyback and Hack. Now, Hack, outside of Bezel Ship, Hack is also one of the worst cards in the deck. But it's pretty solid for what it does. During the turn, There are special summon XYZ monsters you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Also, your opponent cannot target them with card effects. You can target one face-up XYZ monster you control. It gains 300 for each material currently attached to it until the end of this turn. And if it does, and also material that is owned by your opponents, you can attack directly, pretty much. So this is solid. If you want to OTK, you're not going to use this card at all. Most builds, actually every build that has done something competitive, the Orcus build has not topped. I mean, I ran into my YCS build, but that was just like some jank stuff. Now, Flyback is the card that you guys want to run when building this deck, and it's the card that I can see going to be running in the near future. Target one Time Thief XYZ monster you control, attach one card from your deck, Time Thief card that is, as a material. You can banish the card from your graveyard and target one Time Thief XYZ monster you control, attach one card from your opponent's graveyard as material. You can only use one Time Thief Flyback per turn. That one per turn restriction sucks, but with that being said, Flyback attaches one of these guys or the hack to allow you to draw a card, and or another Flyback to do that non-targeting spot on removal. So with all of that being said, I predict moving forward, once this deck do get more support and not become just a deck that's just splashed into pretty much whatever can work with it, like for example Orcus, Dangers, etc. When this deck can become pure for you purists out there, Bezelship and Hack seems to be some of the weaker cards in the archetype. I can definitely see these being taken out. These are the main 3 hitters for the deck, especially Flyback, because you can attack the trap, use Redora, non-target removal. I'm really excited to see what Konami has in store for this archetype. I mean, because the sky's the limit, and honestly, it's only really realistically 2 to 3 more cards away from being bananas. Like, all Time Thieves need is a Rota. If you guys don't know the slang, Rota is a card called Reinforcements to the Army that allows you to search one level 4 or lower warrior from your deck. They have a card outside of window that suits search out regulator. We're gonna be making money. They need another XYZ, like I stated, something that's kind of similar to Redora with the banishing effect, but when you detach the materials, gives them something different, like for example pop back row, top deck back row, you know, something of that nature, hitting face downs. And then I would also like to see it like a field spell, like for example Spiral Resort. Actually, the Spiral Resort type of card will probably be one of the better type of cards that can get recycled, search, and do all the shenanigans you can do from there. But overall, this deck as it stands right now is just simply a splash engine type of deck, which is not a bad thing at all. I think outside of the Orcus build for this deck, it can definitely stand its own as a rogue-ish local level type of deck if you combine it with things like, let's say for example Kaijus, where you can break your opponent's board with the Kaijus, control the board with the Redora. Hell, you may even be able to splash some Mystic Mind shenanigans in his deck just to annoy the opponent. But overall, as it stands right now, Time Thieves is sadly only gonna be a Orcus engine because Regulator makes a broken Orcus play for their deck. People are saying, well, it is Time Thieves, it just helps out the Orcus, but come on now, realistically speaking, the only reason Orcus runs the deck because it makes that one card play that gives you a solid Orcus feel. If Orcus was not a thing, Time Thieves wouldn't be as hot as they are. Not to be negative, just stating the facts. So that being said, to close this video out, Time Thieves as an archetype is very solid. I highly encourage Konami to put in efforts to make more solid cards for this archetype. Konami, you have something great going right here. Let's not mess this up. More than likely, like a lot of decks, like Burning Abyss, like what's the other archetype called? I cannot think of the name right now. The Star Wars archetype, like Cosmos. I'm pretty sure once the OCG gets their hand on Time Thieves, if they have not already, haven't really been paying attention to the OCG like that, once they get a hand on the Time Thief archetype, they're gonna create some broken support for it, and all of us Time Thief TCG fanboys are gonna hop back on the archetype more than likely give it a secret and or ultra rare to make the deck more competitive. So tell me what you guys think about this video in the comment section down below, discussing type of decks that has potential for upcoming metas in the near future. If you guys enjoyed this type of video and you would like to see more, I would highly encourage you to smash that like button to show me that you guys want to see more discussion type of videos like this. So with all that being said, once again, this is InnovationYGO, bringing you guys a this deck has potential type of discussion, and I'm signing out. Peace and stay innovative. Deuces.